Ho Mordu, welcome to day 5 of the 21-day language challenge. I got up this morning, it's Saturday, and I started my day with listening to a couple of episodes of a podcast that I've been using to learn Swedish. It's called Swedish Pod 1-to-1 and it's pretty good. It's got language, but it's also got stuff about culture, which is something that I really enjoy learning about when learning new languages. So I did that this morning, and it's kind of something I do every now and then. It's a technique called the miracle morning. I wrote about it on my blog recently, so if you haven't read it, make sure you read it. It's linked to down below. Essentially, the miracle morning is about making the most of your morning, whether or not you're a morning person, and using it in a productive way. One of the things I really like doing when learning a new language is making sure that whatever I do in a foreign language is something that I would also do anyway, even if I wasn't learning a new language. And one of those things for me is reading blogs. So I do generally read a lot, and I'm thinking, well, if I was reading this anyway, then it doesn't really matter what language I'm reading it in, so I might as well just read it in Swedish and try and learn something. And it's a really good way of kind of picking up vocabulary in context and learning vocabulary in context. So in the last couple of days I managed to find a couple of blogs about sort of lifestyle and food in Swedish, and these bloggers actually do a really useful job by posting updates in English and Swedish at the same time. So what I do is I first read it in Swedish just to get a gist of what's going on. Then I read it in English, and then I read it in Swedish again, but focusing particularly on the new vocabulary, trying to kind of memorize as much of the kind of sentence structure and different expressions as I can. And it really helps, and it's really fun as well because you're actually reading about something that you're interested in, and I would really encourage you to do that. One of the things I'm kind of struggling with at the moment when it comes to learning Swedish is pronunciation, and specifically Swedish intonation, which is something that is a challenge for me because it's not a type of language I've ever learned before. So I'm kind of finding it slightly difficult, especially with the kind of tonality and sort of there's a completely different way of stressing words within sentences in Swedish and stressing syllables within words. So it's something that I'm kind of struggling with at the moment. I'm still listening to my podcast, Swedish Pod 101, and that's helping. But I'm also thinking of doing some more listening, some kind of exploring different ways of practicing my listening skills today. And this is actually the last update this week. So I'm going to update you by the end of day 10 when there is hopefully some substantial progress. And I'll see you then.